Hey guys, Reyra here. Some of you might still remember me from Season 8. I'm the guy who did the 13k Beast and Blade DPS guide. In this season I did, well, quite different approach, but at the same time a pet build. Today I'm gonna bring to you my Demon and Gun build. And yeah, let's see how this goes. First of all, I'm gonna do a little DPS test, and then I pretty much explain everything about the build. So enjoy. Quick disclaimer. This build is pretty high roll. I only missed like around 25% damage, maybe. And also my damage will not always be 29k DPS single target. Sometimes it's also only like 26. It really depends if our demon crits a lot or not. While we conduct our single target DPS test, let's talk about what I will cover in this video. First of all is of course the single target DPS test, then AOE DPS and our rotation. My abilities, talents and mystic enchants and gear. This is pre-WL and pre-mythic 20. The stat weights, skill cards to slot, abilities and talent combinations that I got or want, buff to track, macros, recommended gear, mystic enchants, consumables, and last but not least the bugs. Also, I will keep a spreadsheet of pretty much everything and even more in the video description, so if you're interested, look there. I will also try to keep it up to date and update more stuff about it, because we won't cover everything in the video. Our goal is pretty simple. We buff up our demon as much as possible, then blast cooldowns, and then we pretty much refresh all the buffs all the time as much as possible, and then local shot. What we're gonna do pre-fight is pretty obvious. We're gonna buff up every buff we got. We also need to buff Greater Blessing of Might if you got the improved Blessing of Might talent on our demon again. Every time our demon is despawned or we mount up, the talent buff is gone. So don't forget that. Also don't forget to apply Soul Link if you got it on your demon. Pre-pull we wanna place our Win For You totem. This will also give us the enhanced totems buff if you got the talent. We also want to cast Slice and Dice if we have still combo points left, but also only if you got the compound speed talent. And we also want to cast Mend Pet on our pet as close as possible to the pull if we got the Underhand talent. Full rotation. Now around 2 seconds before the fight starts, we wanna start off with Hand of Gul'dan. This will summon Wild Imps, and together with the Demonic Persistence talent, allows us to sacrifice those Wild Imps using Mind Blast, Incinerate or Flame Surge to buff our pet by 20% per stack up to 4. So we're gonna follow up with a Mind Blast. Now this is either intended or a bug, because it will actually apply 2 stacks to our demon. And also Mind Blast will trigger the Backdraft talent, which we got. So we're gonna follow up with an Incinerate or Flame Surge, stacking the Demonic Persistence buff to 4. Now, as I said, if this is not intended and they fix it, we pretty much need to cast 1 Mind Blast and 3 Incinerate or Flame Surge instead, which would increase our ramp up a little bit. Next we follow up with Paratrooper and also Slice and Dice if Slice and Dice is not already up and we have the combo points for it. If not, we're gonna use 1 local shot and then apply Slice and Dice. After that we're gonna spam local shot until our initial Mind Blast is ready again. We can also wait up to 2 seconds, depending how long the Wild Imps last. If Mend Pet ran out on our pet, we're gonna recast Mend Pet. Also, we're gonna continue to spam Local Shot until we have 5 Pack Tactic stacks and 5 Charge stacks. Then we're gonna follow up with our cooldowns, Frenzy Shot, which buffs our pet with Frenzied Cleave. This will deal AoE damage and pretty much scales with our auto attack damage. We're also gonna use our cooldowns, Unrelenting Wrath. This will reset Frenzy Shot, but also buff our pet. If ready, we're gonna follow up with Paratrooper. And then we're gonna use either Stone Shard or Earth Shock, if we have 5 charge stacks, to trigger Tesla Collar Coils, to do huge AOE damage. This is also based on the demon's damage. The reason why we prioritize Stone Shard is because it has a reduced cooldown of 0.5 seconds. And after that we pretty much continue to spam Loco Shot. And from there on out we're gonna pretty much follow a rotation. We keep all of our buffs up if possible. And at 5 charge stacks gonna use Stone Shard or Earth Shock again. I already know what people might say, that our DPS is a little bit too high. But to be honest, we cannot compare to mortal builds. We got the Demon King himself, Flaathun, ascended from hell to deal the most unholy damage imaginable. Hey, Flaathun. Now this tab is simply my current setup I used in the video. Most important part is the abilities and the talents. The one with an X I'm gonna keep rerolling. Also a week later pretty much I rerolled Power Infusion because it's simply not that worth. Of course we are missing some abilities: Munition Expert, Demonic Empowerment, Soul Link, Ardent Defender, Sinister Transfusion and Demonic Embrace. All of those I want to get. Munition Expert is bugged and I still have the buff from some other specs somehow. But that is that. Of course, single target DPS, AOE DPS, my current setup, stats of my demon. Of course, we have item script, so we have the 12% spell haste. These are the mystic enchants I used. By the way, I'm gonna go over gear and mystic enchants in a bit later. So this is just my current setup, right? It's not completely this. This is the gear I used. And also these are the enchants I used. Stat weights are pretty simple. We want to hit 14% hit rating, so we will never miss a raid boss. Hit rating also affects our demon. Then we're gonna stack up as much spell damage and spell power as possible, as this will increase the attack power of our demon. And then we simply go for intellect, haste rating, hit chance, and agility. Of course, there are also other important stats like stamina and resistances, but those are more important for high mythic plus and high raid trials. And also, most people don't know, but increases and decreases to player damage do not affect our demon or pets in general. So stuff like Titan Script, the damage reduction, will not affect our demon. Let's go over the most important part, that is the starting race, level 1 abilities and skill cards to slot. First of all, for DPS, Orc is the best, simply because of the command passive, which simply increases the damage of our pet by 5%. We also got the blood-free cooldown, which we can use. This scales with level, and at level 60 it is 124 attack power and 123 spell power. Next, the starting abilities are the following. First of all, Auto Shot. Now, this is actually not written in the text, but it actually increases our ranged attack speed by 33%. We go in the Hunter tree. We also gonna pick Aspect of the Hawk to trigger our improved Aspect of the Hawk talent and get more ranged attack speed. Then we're gonna pick Earth Shock to trigger our Tesla Coil Colors and also have a higher chance to roll Stone Shard while leveling. Then Enslave Demon, so we can dismiss our demon and save up buffs and call him later. And in general we can also enslave a demon, but most demons are not worth it. Most demons suck while leveling, to be honest. The only demon I can recommend at high level is the Felsteed or Dreadsteed, which can deal some damage, but Felguard is pretty much in every way superior. Also, one honorable mention is Slice and Dice. You want to roll this later pretty much, together with Compound Speed, to even get more ranged attack speed. I decided to go Aspect of the Hawk, as this is pretty much way better to roll. Let's talk about our core abilities we gonna slot. Sadly, we need 5 abilities. All of the ones you see here, and also Unrelenting Wrath. Frenzy Shot can be pretty much changed with Unrelenting Wrath if someone wants to, but we need to roll all of them while leveling or at max level. First ability is Metamorphosis. We need this to trigger the Demonic Influence buff. Every time we enter Metamorphosis, the demon gets Demonic Influence for 30 seconds if we have the talent. And because Metamorphosis has such a long cooldown, we're also reducing its cooldown with Demonic Recurrence and Nemesis talent. And on top of that, we can also slot the Mystic Enchant Nemesis to reduce the cooldown even more, down to 9 seconds. Next is the Summon Felgut. Main reason for this is Summon Felgut has a passive where he increases his attack damage by 100%. Together with the Demonic Brutality, Mystic Enchant, and also Talent, it goes up to 160 attack power, which is simply crazy. Next is Frenzy Shot. This will pretty much buff our pet for 8 seconds, so his auto attacks will also cleave up to 5 nearby enemies. This also works in single target, so the pet attacks and one attack will also hit the main target. And the most important ability in the entire game, which leads to crazy combinations, is Logo Shot. Okay, let me explain goddamn Logo Shot. First of all, we gonna use Compound Power with Logo Shot. This will enable us to get combo points. Being able to generate combo points will make it so that we can trigger Sinister Transfusion and also Pack Tactics with Logo Shot. We can also trigger Slice and Dice, which together with Compound Speed increases our ranged attack speed. Then we can also use the combo points generated for Fancy Footwork plus Hastened Feint in order to trigger Cut to the Chase and Cobra combo. Also, Fancy Footwork has no global cooldown, so we can just macro it in pretty much everything. And besides that, Logo Shot is also nature damage, so we can get Tesla Collar Coil stacks. And at 5 stacks, we can trigger Tesla Collar Coils, and our damage will deal massive AOE damage, which scales with our pet damage if we use Stone Shard or Earth Shock. Now, the damage is capped to 10 enemies, which is really nice. And we are also able to trigger the Bestial Assault, which at 5 stacks will reset Unrelenting Wrath. And using Unrelenting Wrath will reset Frenzy Shot. And Frenzy Shot in combination with any companion random enchant, talent, like Smoldering Companion, will increase Frenzy Shot damage by a huge amount. Also, the main reason why we go ranged attack speed is Logo Shot. Because something really special about Logo Shot is that the global cooldown is the exact same as the cast time of Logo Shot. This means we can go under 1 second Logo Shot cast. In my current setup, I can go spam a Logo Shot at around a 0.3 second rate with all my ranged attack speed buffs up. So we can get huge amount of Tesla Collar Coil stacks and also resets for the Unrelenting Wrath and Frenzy. Now I almost forgot, but we also need to roll while leveling or at max level Hand of Gul'dan and Mind Blast or Incinerate or Flame Surge Ideally both Mind Blast and one of the other, in order to trigger Demonic Persistence for the 80% damage buff to our Summon Demon. Now let's go over the core talents. There's pretty much 6 and even more, so we need to choose what we pick. First of all is Bestial Assault. We need this to reset the cooldown of Unrelenting Wrath. We could also, instead of Bestial Assault, slot Pack Tactics. But we want to have both anyway, so we need to roll either of one while leveling or max level. Keep in mind, Pack Tactics only works with compound power, so our local shot generates combo points. Demonic Persistence is here, so we get our demon an 80% damage buff. Demonic Recurrence, so we reduce the cooldown of Metamorphosis. This is for the Demonic Influence, so we can keep the buff up at all the times with the Nemesis. This is also an 80% damage buff. And of course the Tesla Color Coils, which we stack with Loco Shot and trigger with our Stone Shard or Aura Shock to deal huge AoE damage. Stuff I didn't mention we wanna roll is also, of course, Nemesis later. Then pretty much all summoned demon talents, the good spell power talents, ranged attack speed talents, 100% spell pushback. Also, I'm not sure if we actually need that. Any of the companion talents, so we change the auto attacks to magic damage, which ignore armor, and also Curse of Elements will do such, so the attacks will deal more damage. Also, some stuff that is not obvious that you don't want to reroll is Fancy Footwork, Hastened Feint, and Feint while leveling. So we might get Fancy Footwork and Hastened Feint. And of course, we use this to trigger Cut to the Chase talent, and also Cobra combo, because Fancy Footwork has no global cooldown. Besides that, there's Paratrooper and engaging shots. And of course, if you're interested, just look at the spreadsheet that I created for the abilities and talents to not reroll. Now, sadly, the combination tab is not finished. I wrote down most of the abilities, but there are pictures missing, etc., etc. So in the future, I will update the spreadsheet. But for now, the reason why this is empty is I want to release the guide so people can actually try the build, and I will update this at a later point. For now, just look at the abilities and talents, and I pretty much wrote everything there. And yeah, that's pretty much that. Now, these are pretty much all the abilities I recommend to have. There are some exceptions that are in red. For Infusion, I actually rerolled. It's simply not that worth it. And the next ability I might reroll is maybe Berserk, because that would also end up opening another talent slot, but I'm not sure about this. Soul Link I would strongly recommend for defense purposes and also some movement ability, which is also pretty nice. But we pretty much have to get rid of some other ability, and that's the big question, what we get rid of. Next are the talents, and those are pretty much also all recommended to get. Some red marked, like accuracy is only hit chance, right? So if you're hit capped, you don't need this. Also, spell pushback, I'm not sure if we need it. Some guys said, yes, we need spell pushback for our spells and maybe Loco Shot, but I'm not sure about this. So we also get 3% hit. If you know more, right, hit me up. And I update it in the sheet if it's not needed, or if it's needed. Proofed Imp we might get rid of. I talk about this in the bug section later. Unleashed free does not work on summoned pet, so I pretty much only keep this if I want to use an as slave demon, or if they might change it to tame pets, but who knows. Frenzy is also bugged right now and does not work on summoned demons, but should work, because summoned demon is a tamed pet. So for now, of course, we keep this. To be honest, Focus Fire should also be red because it's only a 2% increase. We could get rid of it. Then Honor Among Thieves is also a bit questionable. The 3% chance don't really matter. And what we after is a capstone that we get 1 combo point every pretty much 3 seconds if we hit an enemy with a spell or ability. This can smooth out our rotation for fancy footwork. We got 5 combo points for to trigger a Cobra combo, but I'm not sure if we really need this. This is a big contender to get rid of, in my opinion, but testing it is pretty hard. Then the stuff on the end here. I would recommend Demonic Embrace with Soul Link talent, because it's just huge survivability, also another protection, and I will also add some more defensives down here later, so keep looking for the sheet to be updated. Let's go over buffs to track real fast. Sadly, I don't have a Weakauras for this, so I'm gonna use Tell Me When to track over my buffs. Of course, if someone wants to make a Weakauras and wants me to share it, right, hit me up. On the left, we got Demonic Influence, then followed up with Pack Tactics, Demonic Persistence, Slice and Dice, Med Pet, Frenzied Cleave, and Charged. We only gloss over some of the macros. Local Shot, Hand of Gul'dan, Mind Blast, Unrelenting Wrath, or pretty much every cooldown we have. Greater Blessing of Might, and also Dismiss Demon. And for pretty much every other combat ability we have, except Slice and Dice, we will also macro this little boy. Most of them simply got Pet Attack on the macro. You could also use Pet Attack and pretty much any macro you want. Our pet simply attacks our targets. And most of them have Fancy Footwork on them. Fancy Footwork has no global cooldown and will trigger our Cobra combo and also Cut to the Chase talent. Now, sadly, the Weakauras tab is still empty. What Weakauras I would want is pretty much a Wild Imp tracker, so we can see how long our Wild Imps last. Sadly, I don't know how to create a Weakauras like this, so that's pretty much that. If someone wants to create a Weakauras, hit me up. Also, the Weakauras could work like this, I guess. But yeah, I'm not completely sure about this. So, would be awesome if we had one in the future. So, keep looking out for that. If we have one, I will update the sheet. Let's look at all the gear we want. Sadly, this step is also not done. So, yeah. Mostly it's Spell Power gear from Mythic Plus and also Tier 2 Warlock. And yeah, just keep looking out for an update for the spreadsheet. Also for Mystic Enchants, it's pretty much the same as my current setup enchants. But of course, in the future, look at the sheet and it should be updated in a few days. Bugs. Now, this is my favorite part actually. Improved Imp. Improved Imp talent is actually bugged and does not only increase the damage of imps and wild imps, but also increases the damage of pretty much any tamed pet. So it works on summoned demons. But the increase is super weird because when we summon our demon the first time, or he dies and we summon it the first time, the damage will not apply, but only apply after some random amounts of seconds. And also will calculate new infight, which is super weird. And I'm pretty sure this leads to more than 25% damage. Yeah, you might want to look into this talent. Next one is also really big, and it's Frenzy. Should work on tamed pets, so it should work on summoned demons, but right now it does not. Has been reported a long time ago, and for some reason was not fixed. To be fair, most other tamed pet stuff did not work on summoned demons at the start of the season, but they all fixed it. But this is one of the huge bugs that still persists, and they didn't fix, and I don't know why. Next is Munition Expert. I'm not sure if this is still a current bug, but I don't have Munition Expert. But I still have the high velocity munition buff. I probably got it from some other spec, changed, and somehow kept it. Now, Demonic Persistence is also interesting, because I'm not sure if this is intended or not, but if we sacrifice Wild Imp, we get 1 stack of Demonic Persistence, and our demon should also get 1 stack of Demonic Persistence. But right now, the demon actually gets 2 stacks. So, of course, if they fix this, would be not that great, and we need to ramp up more and need to cast more, but I guess that's it. How this is intended, who knows, right? Now, also important stuff I don't consider bugs is, first of all, Enslaved Demon will also give us the ability to dismiss demon. Now this actually works on summoned demons, so it works on summoned Felguard. I don't really consider this as a bug, because, I mean, Felguard is a demon and it is a pet, so why would it not work? Also, right, you can save up buffs with Dismiss Demon, which is super nice. And the mechanic also works for like every other tamed ability, like Tamed Beast, etc. Demonic Influence. Now this could be big or not big, depends. Now, one of the most important buffs we got is actually Demonic Influence, because it increases the damage of our demon by 80%. But you could say it's bugged, you could say it's not bugged. It really depends what the intention is. Now, in Season 9, they changed the text and it says, while in Metamorphosis, your summoned demon wild imps gain Demonic Influence. Now, we don't actually need to stay in Metamorphosis. We simply go into Metamorphosis and our demon gets this buff for 30 seconds. Now, that's the exact same mechanic or way it worked in previous seasons. So here's the old one. And that one says, after entering Metamorphosis, our wild imps and demon gets the buff, right? So the question is this intended or not? And I pretty much said, yes, this is intended. And my reasoning is, they changed the text, but they didn't change the mechanic how it works. So if this is not intended, it would be really, really bad. We would lose 80% damage to our demon. And yes, I would jump off a window. So please don't destroy this. Congratulations, you made it to the end. Thanks for watching my guide video. Hopefully it is pretty good and you are able to world. Good luck to all of you. And also, of course, if anyone has any advice or something that would make the build better, feel free to contact me. Also, I will pretty much provide Mystic enchants on the auction house for free. And if anyone can't afford them, just whisper me and I will provide them to you. Also, if you enjoyed the guide, feel free to subscribe and also ring the bell, so you will be notified if I make another video. Probably the next stuff I will upload is some of the Ascended raid trials, level 4 and up. So keep out for that. With that said, jetzt läuft der Typ wieder da lang. Brr.
I'll